well, yeah, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah,
I'm trying to think about that instead of just
what went wrong, and then you're now worried and playing protected. I think you're onto a lot of good stuff. I love forward press idea as a trigger. I do that myself with the blade putter. That's like the last thing I think about. Is it? I pick my line a lot like you. I see the curvature of the line. I don't personally pick out an intermediate spot right here. It doesn't work for me because I'm thinking of the whole putt, not just parts of the putt. So when I'm looking at a putt, I'm seeing that curvature, but I gotta have 100% confidence that that's the break that I'm looking for at the speed. And as a good player, you've already accomplished a lot of that feel and sensory part of your golf game. So what I could share with you is that confidence of your read has to start somewhere to build the rest of the confidence in the putting stroke. So as long as you're confident with the read you're making, then I think if you simplify that process a little bit and just say, okay, there's my line, there's my line, there's my line, forward press, go, kind of like what you were saying with Bob Rotella, I think that's a great process. When you deviate from it, though, that's where stuff can start happening, right?
mm-hmm.
So how do we get you to repeat the same process? How does that have to work? We got to get some kind of system in place to help you think that way.
I don't know.
That's a good question, right?
Mm-hmm.
So something that we should really start looking at. I think my personal opinion is that we're going to miss putts. We got to accept that we're going to miss putts. But if that's the one thing that prevents us from putting well the rest of the round because we're dwelling on a miss, then we got to break that down a little bit further. So why did we miss? What happened? Was it a problem in reading a putt? Was it a problem with speed? Was it a problem with club face? You know, all these things could be a part of it, right?
Mm-hmm. And you know, I do want to, because you're such a good putter, you know, I'd like to know your, maybe my technique is bad. I never took lessons.
Yeah.
You know, everything is self-taught. You know, I don't know if my grip's right, if you know, my eyes are. You know, I'd like to tinker with maybe the proper, or maybe, I mean, I don't know if there is something for putting, but
that's a good question, because I think there's a lot of great putters that do a lot of great things that you and I don't do. And then there's been some real funny types of putting that I would never do myself, but work tremendously for other players. You know, Bernhard Langer with the longer putter. And now that the rules have changed where they can't have it anchored, that's got to be a tough change. You know, Adam Scott, another one, and you see, you know, pencil grips, claw grips, left hand lows, traditional, fingers down the grip. I think, you know, if you had the yips, that would be one thing. We'd probably look at, you know, stabilizing or taking out some motion in the grip, but I don't think that's something we got to worry about. I like the process that you have in place, but going back to what we were talking about earlier, you said you feel like there's possibly some excessive movement. That triggers something that says maybe we got to look at that. Maybe we got to quiet Danny down just a little bit so that he's not missing putts. He's putting the ball on the line that he wants and putts with more confidence.
You know, and you've told me in the past too, but I don't see it. It's hard for me, you know,
hard to see.
And then all of a sudden, you know, you'll take a video and you're like, damn. So I need some kind of
okay. Well, I brought
something
two
that
tools.
helps me feel that.
Yeah. Absolutely, because all the best players in the world play from a feel, not so much a thought. They practice from the thought of what they're trying to accomplish, but eventually they turn this into a feel so that they can react to these targets and then perform.
Right.
You know, if you're thinking about swing thoughts, whether it's in full swing, short game, or putting, your mind's on the task and not the performance of the task. It's